I started a crowdfunder just to sort of wrap up funds to really sort of get it to a better place. We'll see whatever we raise, we raise. Vessi, we got a nonprofit now.
I saw the letter that you sent me. That's very exciting. Tell me more.
Well, for, the whole premise of Popology from day one was an educational premise to teach media literacy and to be a campaign, to promote the personal popular as attribution to the mass popular. And, getting the whole idea succinct enough to put it into a nonprofit filing. I was not very successful at it for more than a bunch of years. And now that we've got this, we have a principal school teacher, my friend Nancy Ruiz, who's a charter principal teacher. And she's been for the past 6 months writing a curriculum from K through 12 with the sort of papers that I've been given her, and she's done a lot of research herself. And so through all that sort of research, I filed for a nonprofit one more time, and we got it. So yeah, it's timing.
That was the missing piece.
Well, it's the most it really is the foundational portion of this, because to teach popology in schools, middle schools specifically, and maximally in universities. It's not just straight up film class, and it's not just media literacy to navigate the internet. It's a whole socio philosophy that kind of reaches out into all the 3 branches of science. So it's sort of a compressed ideation of all things to survive this incredible media-laced world we're in.
The science of popular and how it shaped us all individually is definitely commodable. Is that
commodable?
Is commodable? Is that a word?
I think you, Vessi, you have license.
This is Popology. You have
yeah.
It is a word.
Commodable.
Yes.
Is that a word? That's not a word.
It could be, I
but
guess,
we knew what you. That's right.
We
knew what
you.
It's so funny. We're like starting our own. We could get doctorates for this made up stuff. So yeah. So our so the app is in its home run stage before we probably get a full release the right before Christmas. It was supposed to be Thanksgiving, but it's moving a tiny bit slower. That's why we're adding developers to it. And the plan is that me and Dan try to get it in front of his peers at Comcast before the end of the year, for the purposes of corporate dollars closing towards the end of the year. Easier to, So we got that plan, but the development looks so incredible. It really is an original premise to put an NBC type production business plan, from everything from the sponsors to the placement of content cross-platform. It just is a powerful tool, really is. And it's very.
Can I ask you a question real quick, John?
Yes.
I mean, this is a vision you've had that you've been curating pretty much and building for the past 18 years now. Is that correct?
20 years. It was invented 2 weeks before 9/11.
So in the campaign of get aggregated, don't get aggravated, can you speak more on that? Because I think that's brilliant, and I think that everybody's like trying to sell something, but Popology's not really trying to sell anything. At my show on Friday, I actually mentioned Popology, and I asked, does anybody know what the science of popular is and media literacy? And someone mentioned, oh, what are you trying to sell us? I said, I'm not trying to sell you anything. What's the science of popular? Do you know what that means? And just the idea of it, and they had to think about it. And I shared the website, and I shared the vision. But could you speak more about getting aggregated and not aggravated?
Yeah,
and what that entails?
Don't get agitated. Get aggravated. No, wait. Don't get agitated. Get aggregated. Aggregation actually, here's a good way to present it. I think I put it this way. We're in a three-dimensional world. We live in a three-dimensional world. When we deal on the internet, we're dealing with a two-dimensional storytelling. Even if it's a picture or a newspaper. Well, in that two-dimensional storytell, you're only getting the side of the narrative of the storyteller. Google has their narrative. Facebook has theirs. Yandex has their narrative. Each platform actually brings you a very specific narrative. Some of the platforms give you a more open, multiplexed version of the story or content or info. Well, in Popology, it aggregates, 2,400 tiles at once of whatever you're searching for. It means 2,400 search results immediately at a glance. You can z-axis close to the tiles or back up and see it more total. But the idea here is you're getting a fourth dimension perspective on any one search. You're getting both sides of the story of the cure for cancer. You're getting both sides of the story for what really happens in election. You're getting both sides of the story. Maybe there's more than two sides. So the aggregation is what makes that possible. And that's really it. That's the real, so if you're gonna make a good story, what our Popcast is, you want all the content right there. As when you're working on Final Cut Pro, you want all your selects right there so that you can pick and choose and select what you want and put it in your timeline. Well, in that same premise, Popology enables you to get the full story, the full breadth of the full, complaint or process or search. There's many sides to Iron Man. So that's the aggregation part, Vessi. Did I cover that?
I think yes. I mean, the question is, do people currently earn from their cross-platform behaviors?
Oh, absolutely.
And so
yes, they
don't.
Oh no, currently no. Nobody makes it. No. The systems make lots and lots of resources, and everyone's aware of this already. So this idea is that Popology creates this permission prompter where you're basically allowing the cross-platform behavior, but the blockchain enables you to track the earnings of your metadata, your the type of what is it? When you join Verizon or any internet company, they ask you how much space you need, or what is it called? Megabytes? Yeah. Bandwidth in terms of megabytes. Well, in this case...
Messiah, I've just joined you. Could you start from the beginning? Are you recording this? Because I really need to...
Hi, Nuala.
Hear everything you've got to say. Hi, Vessi.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, it's being recorded.
Should we reset the room?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do that?
Go ahead. Vessi, I like it when you reset. You got a refreshing quality consistently.
We're here today with Joe Ray from Popology. Oh, my dogs are barking. You're going to have to do it.
We're here today with Vessi and Bernie and you as future probable popologists to explore the idea of science in popular. What is popular? Is it a belief system? Is it a science? Is it both? The idea is that Popology is creating a platform that empowers every user for cross-platform behavior rewards. Technically, that would be crypto payments. In addition to that, the ability to create long-format broadcasts that we call a Popcast that puts you in the same league of competitive atmosphere, professional output as NBC, Fox, or any other broadcast.
So by ledgering your true likes and licensable ideas, we assemble a data storage for the people and by the people that can be used for legislative, commercial, and altruistic purposes.
Bling.
So, yeah, corporations love this sort of thing. They just want you to initiate the purpose. Don't get agitated, get aggregated. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. I remembered it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After you curate your first Popcast, we ask you not to stop there. We offer an entire brand suite of sponsors in our Popmercial gallery, right for the placement, to get your content creation to literally millions of viewers and pay them to watch. So Bernie's here, and he's the architect for the blockchain.
Bernie forced me to go. He said, "Joe, you got to go make coins right now." About in 2018. And
I think the metaverse is it's a simple a simple thing that exists in the gaming world that is finding its legs and taking full effect of the blockchain space as it is right now. And I think it's a beautiful match as far as both things coming together.
Blockchain is a perfect tool that allows this tracking. It should be used for voting. Soon enough it will be. We're creating...
They're actually talking about it already, actually.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the prosumer premise that we create with an ethical capitalistic spin due to the access of digital rights that you're allowed to use and reward yourself on Mickey Mouse. Technically, these copyright laws make that off the table unless you're CNN and you're a reporter. So in this case, your Popology as a popologist is 2 micro-licensed trademarks that we issue you within the ecosphere. So now you're a reporter, and you can actually make money on Transformers by doing the storytelling that you care about with Transformers, creating remixing and gamifying the content. Go ahead, Vessi.
Well, I was going to say Popology is establishing the first public trust blockchain ledger, 95% run by Popology for the first 10 years, right?
We'll create so it'll be a 10-year. In 10 years, it would be presumably owned by 80% by the people, the data, and Popology will run it for the 20%. In the very beginning, it'll be the reverse. So it's, a lot of platforms take away from your abilities. We enhance them the longer it goes, because the premise is that the blockchain is the data of the people's choices that they really need, we need access to.
I mean, Joe Ray, the biggest thing is that it's copyright-free usage of all of pop culture to monetize a benefit to artists, right? As they share their pop culture influences that have defined their artistry and courtship with their own works of art. We talked about this the other day.
Through the use of this license, because it's media literacy, the license enables fair use reporting, basically with the agenda or premise to define the true measure and landscape of popular. Because we still don't know that.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
Go ahead, Eric. What's up?
I came to the stage first because, I came to the stage first because I didn't want to come off as a lurker, and I was invited up. So thank you for inviting me up. I find it fascinating. My question, I have a couple of things I'd like to say, but I'll just start with a question and just kind of ease my way into building with you guys. Is that in terms of licensing for, if I understand this correctly, so I'm somebody who's a member of Popology and part of the ecosystem, would be giving their own takes on certain storytelling and pop culture. So that would be say you used the example of Iron Man earlier. So is there a licensing built into where there is some money going in royalties going through because of the IP of Iron Man? So does the money get generated and go toward the original IP as well?
Yeah, very good question. No, that's a very good question. So if it's on YouTube, what you're talking about is licensing. Well, first, blanket wise, Popology is what's being micro licensed, and Popologist as the user is the same as a reporter or that generated story creator. So in that sense, CNN doesn't pay Starbucks to report the news about Starbucks. Your Bill of Rights is really that coverage. Now, when you remix and gamify, there's another attribution to the digital rights. And so in this case, we've gone to Universal, and we will have them ledger lots of their content available for use on our blockchain so that we can track the licensing for them. They can't track any of their content now, and they have Universal Music Publishing Group is the administrator for Universal. I use them as an example because they're the largest catalog in the world for digital rights. And they were wowed by this idea and presentation and where we are so far. They want first dibs to allow us to merchandise their digital rights. So if it's on YouTube and you want to use Madonna's music in your podcast stream, you can do that. The issue of licensing is more challenging because it's free for everyone to see. The only purpose on YouTube is pay to watch, or I'm sorry, you post it to watch. So if it's loaded to our personal servers, the licensing is absolutely there, and exactly as you have mentioned. If it's used as a remix situation, we'll have agreements to make sure that artistry is recognized. Yet, how do you pay licensing to someone on something that's free on YouTube as an aggregation asset? So in other words, I hope I answered your question to start there. In other words, we're not ignoring the BMG and the rights management premise, but the real asset here is that we're asking the large catalogs to load onto our platform directly if they want that exclusive tracking for those assets. You can't pay someone for use on YouTube when they're already they posted it there for the world to see. Do you follow the point there?
Yeah, I actually follow you, and it's definitely fascinating. And congratulations on building a relationship with Universal. Mm-hmm. And I'll just use that as a segue jump off. I saw you here on Clubhouse a few weeks ago in a room I listened to. It was a great room. There was all sorts of stuff going on. I can't even remember the room, but I thought, I think I know you. I think I met you, and I actually think I met you like in the Universal City area before. Do you? And you were hustling, like doing kind of the same thing. I think it might have been like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I'm neighbors. Can I go ahead?
No, I was going to say I've been doing this for developing Popology for 2 decades.
Yeah, so like I noticed I recognized the brand, and then when I heard your name, Joe Ray, I thought, I think my old neighbor, Adra Jensen, who I can't remember what she was going. Maybe she was going
Adra. I did a video for Adra a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. She's been going by Bella Star lately, but back in the day when we were neighbors, and we actually went to a show with all you guys from our apartment next to the. They called it it used to be the casting couch in the building across from Universal City, but
okay.
I think we met, man, and you were hustling the same thing back then, and you're still going with it, and I thought, wow, I want to come in and listen to what's going on.
Thank you, Eric. I like your term hustle because it's a pretty fantastic,
it's a crazy idea.
Well, it's grandiose to presume that you can organize popular culture and term popular as this open source and refine it to a science. And this is why we have a wild horse in the world, because it's not able. There's no bridling of it. And so at the same time, this is how these huge computer systems have technically taken the messages of our world and bamboozled it to be for their only terms. And I'm not complaining here. I'm saying that back then I was developing the intel and research to build this platform. And boy, we've got it. And I've got an incredible...
I knew you as a content creator right away. I was just like, wow, this guy is working with Adra, and Adra is such a passionate person, and then you were, doing a project with her, and when I listened to you to talk today, and I go back to the idea of hustle, is that I think, wow, you're actually adding with the crypto current. Well, I'm not going to say crypto, with the Bitcoin blockchain mm-hmm. application of this all. It takes kind of a lost era and reclaims it, because I'm a Gen Xer. And so I've seen, I grew up with tangible records in my hand and reading lyrics right. and looking at all the cover art. And like over the past decade or 2 decades, we've kind of lost touch with that. And like there's people like Jimmy Iovine who are trying at Apple Music to somehow, reclaim value for the artists and get them paid, because obviously with the streaming, it's completely changed the record industry.
Yeah.
So what I think is interesting about this, and I'll wrap it up here, is that what you're doing is that you're kind of opening up a culture for people to reclaim popular culture and storytelling, and like it almost makes me feel like the idea of a podcast is like kind of reminds me of what it was like listening to Appetite for Destruction and reading every fucking lyric and looking at all the crazy art.
I love that.
It's very
wow.
interesting, dude. It's very interesting, Joe, and I'm glad to re-meet you again, and I'll certainly be following you here and trying to wrap my head more around what you're doing. But
well, I would say is sign up on Popologist.
What is it you're doing? What is it you're wanting to do?
Okay.
What do you want Popology to be, and where do you want it to go?
Awesome.
What is it?
It's a science that we have no name for. See, popology is the science of your science of popular, the integrated singular of popular. Most people consider popular a plural, and it's correct that as well. But if I said I had fish for dinner, it doesn't mean I ate the ocean. So, but when I say I had fish for dinner, we automatically consider the singular. As when we say having a cup of coffee is popular for me in the morning, we rarely poise it this way, but the idea here is to metric your personal, your individual rights that we overlook every day. We give them to these, I'll just say this, the jugular of corporation, no matter what happens with the dollar or crypto, the jugular to corporations is the digital rights, which is what your eyes see, think, and do on. So that access point, if we were talking about the Death Star, and we were all Obi-Wan Kenobis or flying our X-Wings, the target of corporation in its directed abilities for us is their digital rights. And to organize ourselves together to be able to use those digital rights and wipe out poverty by our sensories of brand loyalty and brand direction, instead of complaining on a playa that says it's, fuck the corporation, pardon my French, it ain't going to work for us.
Yes, Joe. I mean, it's fascinating. This is a fascinating idea, and it's like you're basically saying, look, when you put forward, if I'm understanding this correctly, I'm trying to dissect this as much as I can, but like if you're creating a podcast, you're creating content. If you're creating content that you and this metric that you say, you're creating data, which is now you're actually being able to like capture and hold the value of the data that you're creating instead of pissing it away on like a big corporate site like Facebook or Instagram. It's like, no, you're not going to just piss this data away and make everybody else rich off of it. You're going to actually encapsulate the value of the data that you're creating by in the non-fungible token, I guess, or in value on the blockchain. I'm not sure
exactly.
what the design of it is. It's fascinating.
Every podcast
podcast
becomes its own long format non-fungible token with an asset ID that says a watch code that pays you based on the pop commercials you've placed in the whole stream.
Holy shit, can I come work for you guys? It sounds so much more exciting than editing TV shows.
You know what you do? Sign up. May I just want to say this one little commercial?
I sent him the links in the back channel.
Oh yeah. So you're in. It's good.
Could reset the room too, Joe Ray.
Yes.
And then yes, please, our Scottish goddess,
Nuala.
puppet or a beautiful journalist.
Yes, Nuala. I like your name. You ask very targeted questions, and you're very fierce about how you communicate. I love it.
Well, thank you. And that's the thing. I remember just the other day you were talking on another room, and you were getting quite excited because you were saying, I've already done this. This is already done. What is it you've already done that everybody else is doing now? And you're saying, I did this 20 years ago. Tell me what it is your original idea was.
I feel like a time traveler. You just busted me.
Hold on a minute. Can I just interject real quickly?
Go ahead, Bessie.
before doing that, the 20 years that it's taken to build the ship that's indestructible, and all it really needs is the people to support it and to believe in their craft and what they do and to share what inspired them to move forward, to monetize globally. Just take that deep breath to answer that question, because you're a badass.
Okay, thank you. Wow, that's a good introduction to the. So Nuala, first of all, I was a director for commercials and music videos. I still am. Yet my internal connections to massive agencies and massive brands and artistry. And I really kind of self-complimented myself because I realized that these entities are directed by us. They always have been and they always will be. There's no way around that. And because I've had pretty amazing credentials, I kind of went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on this popology idea. I came up with it 2 weeks before 9/11. And when the 9/11 happened, I really resonated that this is not just a t-shirt and bubblegum company. That the scientize, the idea of personal joy and selection and like, is a bill of right. And even though we're in this academia world of all of this other serious nuances of psychology and cryptography, now cryptography, but all this intensity, what's the attraction to bring everybody to the same table that organizes our theosophies, meaning our spiritual beliefs and our ideas, for the positive? And that word is popular. So what I've done already is I've trademarked this internationally. So it's ours. Now you might hear, it's mine. Vesey knows, and Bernie was one of the first people I met in London when this was only a few months old. And I've been giving it away every day. And consequently, it can be devalued when we do this. And, I went through it. And
okay, so everything you've got, all your ideology, all your idealism, is all there. But you don't have a platform.
No, that's incorrect. That's what we do. We do have a platform. We have a beautiful...
So if you do have a platform, what is it? Is it a blockchain? Is it what? How can people enter?
Yeah. So by the end of this year, we've been right now so far. I've got about almost 120 grand invested in a beta platform. And the beta platform took a little while to get it funded because it's such a grandiose concept that people are like, yeah, right. I built and designed, because like Bernie, I'm an architect or production designer myself. And I designed a disco ball because what's more pop than a disco ball? I'm not dating myself, but disco wasn't really hip when I was a teenager. It was more when I was a kiddo. The point is it's a spherical inner space, a workspace. It's like the metasphere on a prosumer level, with all 2D assets populating 2,400 tiles based on a search. You can bring in 10 platforms. You can bring in 4. You can bring in up to 25. That's where we're going with it. We've so far got about 8 or 9 aggregated. And we worked with the bigger ones like Facebook, Google, Yandex. We have TikTok, Daily Motion. What I set it up as is first I've aggregated competition to each platform. So competition to Google is Yandex. If you look up cure for cancer, they have different views of what's immediately populating for what they want to show you. That means they're corporate giants, so pay them with different premises. That means you get two sides of the coin of a story. So we populated Google and Yandex, Daily Motion, and YouTube. TikTok, I love TikTok, and and several other platforms. So when you do a search for nostalgia in 1920s, every platform you have brought in, which is called aggregation, populates with what you've looked for through pictures and video. you're allowed to take these tiles and drag and drop to a fully functioning podcast up to 76 stories. Whether they're 2 hours long, 10 hours long per tile, or just 30 seconds. So your podcast is the length up to you, but up to 76 tiles right now.
What's 76 for? I love that.
It's the cylindrical. So in the sphere, it's we took up a bunch. Basically, it's the hemisphere line. If you go to POPOLOGYNetworks.com, you'll see there's a little bit of a model there that you can eyeball. It's the sort of, I designed it in a spherical Earth premise. So there's an equator line that allows you to drag and drop to that timeline, and up to 76 tiles for your podcast. Now that 76 tile run could be almost 4 days worth of content in a stream, because if you're dealing with 2 hour, 10 hour movies, that's a lot of content. And we place commercials. You, the user, selects the brands that you adore, whether it's Jones Soda or a Coca-Cola or some health vitamin. You pick the commercials in your stream, and we place them every 15 minutes. So if the content comes from YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok, every 15 minutes there's an interruption that ultimately is a popmercial that pays the audience to watch the whole stream you put together. Pays them to do that. So they're mining our currency, and you are paying them to watch it. So then you go back after you've put this whole podcast together and placed say it's a 3-hour timeline, that's 15 popmercials. The popmercials deploy to say 300,000 people all collectively, paying each user 60 tokens to watch. Before you publish, you can go back and wager how popular video 1, 5, 10, or 9, or say you have 15 videos in there, you can wager all 15 individually of how popular it's going to be in 30 days, 2 hours, or 2 weeks. And if you get that number right, you got 76 ways to win, or in this case, 15, because you picked 15 tiles. So it gamifies content, and we patented this whole process.
What if your
Nice.
content? Wait a minute. What if your content isn't popular? It's just important, but it's not popular.
Okay, that's a good question. So depending on the topic, if you're going to fill it up with all of your content that's just you, I recommend thinking like an NBC and bookending your content with similar ideas. Again, this is basis of popular, not self-absorption. It's based on things that you would like. If say you're writing a story, there's lots of stories that are similar, or even if it's a comedy break. And, we're teaching people how to be algorithm storytellers. So if you have 5 pieces of content that are sort of low in audience views, well, bookend it with stuff that's like high-end, big, that you attribute goodness to, that you like, and that's the recommendation. If you don't do that, okay, it's the numbers are based on what the audience views are. So we tally all 15 videos watch playlist watch views. So say it's a comedy show reel, and Vessie's a comedian, and she's not. She's this beautiful singer, but she could be funny sometimes. But she can bookend her comedy acts that no one's really seen up against George Carlin and all of her favorite, Ellen and whoever else, and they have 600,000 views, 20,000.
Gilda Radner, Joe Ray.
Gilda Radner.
I like Carlin a lot too, but
yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm suggesting that you bookend your content in like-minded energy. This is, again, the premise of your popular, not just to make a sale. So the idea is you can bookend your content that might, even if it's contrasting views of the point, the idea is you'll shine in a different way. There's a million use cases for this premise. Again, it's your channel. It's a broadcast network style. So you're going to try different things out and see what works better and what ultimately, rewards you the bottom line, and more importantly, getting your message out there. But when you place more popular content than what you're working with, you're getting your content to be accessible to more people because you bookended it with popular content and, more importantly, brands that are supporting the entire playlist. So you get seen. And I don't think that, again,
because it's trademarked, because it's the trademark. You have the trademark for the copyright free. Can you explain that?
Okay. So right now, there's all these platforms on. How much do you guys pay to watch a piece of content on LinkedIn?
Nothing.
Exactly. And what does the person get paid for watching a piece of content?
Nothing.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're taking all this nothingness and putting it in a compressed, story-told way that, more importantly, aggregates true popular. That's number one. That's the purpose of the license. It's a meeting room where we are defining what true popular is. Okay, so that's a little existential, but I'm just saying that's the real point here. So the licensing is, if I say I'm Tom Brokaw from CNN and you've been watching, well, in our podcast, This Is My Popology gives you the right to promote anything that you like. And you can remix it and gamify because you are using your God-given digital right to be able to profess and communicate your popular, and guess what? Get paid for it.
But wait a minute. So you've just said you've invested, or people invested, $100,000 in your platform. You're going up against Google, YouTube, all these people. They're multi-million. How can you sit in that rarefied atmosphere with an investment of $100,000? I mean,
great question, Nuala.
It is.
Great question. Let's reset the room real quick before you answer that. Will you do so, please, Troy?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, guys. We're talking about popology. We're inventing the new science to denote true popular in the world and for yourself. And we have an app platform that's being developed and built. And we're talking about the hurdles in media literacy, the opportunities in media literacy, the real lay of the land that they don't educate people on, but it's not illegal. How much does CNN or Disney get paid, or at Starbucks? I'll keep saying that. How much does Starbucks get paid for CNN to do a story about them, or even 60 Minutes for that matter? Have you ever been on 60 Minutes, or have you ever heard about the stories they do on the news? Anyone?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
They don't pay anything. They're reporting. MTV reported on music. That's why they were able to use Billy Idol's song in their promotion of themselves. They are reporting the news of their choice. That was music. Well, Popology is a reporting agency for all things popular to the user, known as a popologist. It's trademarked with a specific license allowance. If you look at our Google and our YouTube, we've got more digital rights from Michael Jackson, Madonna, that sells us. There's not illegal. It's called Bill of Rights. It's called...
I love what you're saying. I mean, when I heard you in the room the other day, you were on fucking fire. And I was going, this guy needs to be heard. Now you're being a bit reserved. I want to hear what your absolute vision is.
So to answer your question about why is Google going to how they want this to happen, we got APIs that they make money on. These corporations, there's no issues in law breaking here. It's just the people haven't paid attention to do it. It took I'm a director, so I've been in some high places and, I've been very fortunate. And believe me, I'm not saying that the beast ain't crazy and that there's some that darkness out there. At the same time, there's a whole silver lining we ain't even tapped on yet. Because we're too, and don't take this the wrong way, we're too busy complaining. Okay, so the point is, this is an opportunity. This is just one of many opportunities. One thing Bernie said to me that was really awesome, and he's right, is that the dawn of the blockchain, it's only limited to creativity. So these digital rights are there to be used and represented. Okay, and in the corporate bylaws of any corporation, the masses of people can just decide with even no reason, we don't want Coca-Cola anymore. But people don't do that. But then we complain of how we've given them the power. They got the money because we give it to them. So Popology is a unifying force to create a smarter consumer that's actually becoming a director. And we deputize you as a corporate entity of Popology as a popologist with the rights of and as a digital producer. Because everyone knows that we love cats and what we ate for lunch and how popular that really is. We like each other as people.
Yeah.
So it's a revolution in intelligence based on the system we have. I don't think it's very smart that we walk past poor people, and sometimes we have to. But so really, we have to pay attention to the way the system is. Lobbyists will never go away. So we need a company that makes enough money to pay the lobbyists to keep up with what they're doing. And that's easier to do than we realize. That's it. It sounds grandiose.
It's expensive.
Well, so what? We're worth it. It is expensive. I'm expensive. I spend money really well. I built Backstreet Boys videos in a weekend that were worth $3 million. What, we can't spend real money on our people?
Can we make real money to spend real money?
Yes,
where do we make the
absolutely.
money? Where do we make it?
You make it on your identity, your self-expression, your questions, the same energies you're putting out now. Nothing has to change. In fact, we do this correctly, nothing will change. We'll go to the Rothschilds and say, okay, just keep it the way it is. Whoops, it's all good. And everyone will not be broke. That's it. And we earned it. And they love that. Just don't complain. Make it happen. Build your voice. Make your audience. And parts of that has happened. The young people really got this. I mean, the dawn of the YouTube, we've got to hand it to them there. So that's it. It's a revolution. It's a real revolution, but it doesn't. We're shooting with our cameras and our hearts and our minds, and that's going on. All of this is going on. We're giving you a word for it. We're giving you a platform on it, and with your help, it can be a movement.
You started this long before NFT, long before all this digital bollocks. You started this, you said, 20 years ago. What exactly was your vision 20 years ago, and how has it evolved, and how has it changed?
I call it global inner peace. Global inner peace is why I started this. In my notes, first started this. Thank you for the question, Nuala. I wrote because I was in my own Jerry Maguire moment. I was frustrated with my situation and what I was able to do, not do. I was okay at directing PT Cruiser commercials. That's not so glamorous, even though I got paid good. And then 2 weeks before 9/11, I wrote, create a production to inspire global inner peace. Prove peace is possible with the global skirmish everyone knows about. At the time, that was Israel and Palestine, still is. And I was just picking low-hanging fruit to create some venture that I could be so grandiose at and call myself a pop messiah. Okay, so it's out there thinking, because I'm a fan of Star Wars. And the idea here is all a pop messiah is the brands will bow to me and I'll teach them how to do it to you. Literally bow and ask you what you want. They do it now. Look at the Kardashians. Okay, and that's maybe a bad example, but it's the least talent
I could... Why do you always say that? The Kardashians are wonderful.
I don't see Ricky. Go ahead.
Joe, it's so interesting because, just to have met you a few years back and know that you were already building this brand, and to see it kind of flowering right now is very interesting. And it just seems like a beautiful thing to coax people away from the dominant. Like Nuala said, well, your $100,000, what is it really going to do against these multi-billion-dollar corporations? But the thing is, I think that the idea is very seductive, and it should, if it catches on, coax people away from larger social media modalities, because they can actually capture their value where, instead of letting it bleed away from them. And I think that that's like this. It's this. It may not be. You may not have millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, but the idea is there that could catch on. I just think it's very interesting.
Eric, it's great that you said just what you said, was because, with Facebook changing to Meta and the metaverse, how many people is that going to leave behind? Who's not included with their lightning speed internet connection? And so the connection and the disconnect with Popology and becoming a Popologist member by going to what I pinned up top there, which it's free. And you can start sharing today. You can start sharing the link with people that you know. You can start doing it.
Here's a question.
Popology could infiltrate the metaverse, from and then actually do work from the inside. I could see applications inside the metaverse, actually.
You're so right, Eric. Eric, I want to say this, and this is where I think we have something that is boundless, and it's actually, I know we have something boundless. Who owns popular culture?
Right now, YouTube.
No, okay, you're being literal. Okay. You think YouTube is going to come out saying we own popular culture?
No, but that's my perception.
I guess you can say the people, right?
Here's the driving idea here. YouTube is a fabulous platform, and I give them lots of props for being the world's server for great ideas and great video. No question. YouTube is like the oxygen for popular culture. Facebook is the carbon of popular culture. TikTok is the nitrate, light and fluffy. I could keep going on and on with these platforms. LinkedIn is the wood. Okay, but the point we're trying to make here is that Popology takes all of these elements and makes it into combustible chemistry that you direct. I don't care if you're in the metaverse or on the street. Popology lives and is, and has been.
It's social media alchemy.
It's more than social media. It's before social media, Popology was the latest dance craze that everyone would talk about. The cartoon that two guys compare their own lives to. Popology is the philosophy and intellect of your care and your joy. It is bigger than
the water cooler conversation about Friends in the 1990s around the water cooler.
Yes, exactly. So when we talk about places of where Popology could be effective, really the goal is in your heart and in your brain to make all of your life better. That's it. It's a lifestyle brand through technology and actually living it.
No, you're talking. No, I'm hearing you. No, I'm hearing you.
Hey, Joe Ray.
Yeah.
Go.
Joe Ray.
Go on. Tell us all about it.
Go ahead. Someone has a question, though. I want to make sure I get the question. Eric?
What's happening, Joe Ray? This is
IPC, yes. Hey, IBC. How are you, brother?
I just want to say it's good to meet you in your swimsuit, pinstripe suit outfit. Because I've arrived through a sublime tubular wave. I've turned through 70s cartoons and Ray Charles shades.
Nice.
I know it's a touch of gray and becoming a color. It's where Stevie Ray riffs and Bone Thug harmonies bring rumors through culture where we don't need no education. Because love's all I got in my imagination that speaks as an edutainer. Where I'm a believer that what you got is the fight to party from house parties to the Bronx to the way the Cadillac Thunder Road honks, where I express this painted flyer to do only one thing, to inspire, to give away the rights I have as this art I fact act where I'm taking it all back in black, full of industrial punk distortion, light rays of magic. I speak and paint pixels and heavy metal music. It envelopes letters and numbers and alphanumeric. It's defined by the dark side of the moon to the Goonies that never say die. It's an eruption from Eddie's guitar right here, right now. I speak the NFT that sets me free, and it's all about the cryptogamy. It's void of fear to let this electric light orchestra be mott who financial. It's where my rights are the big city and bright lights. You see, I have muddy waters in my veins that are spiritualized in a dream theater, and that's where I met Pooh. And I look up to Spike where I got game, and she's got to have it like Madonna and Marilyn. Say, hey, Joe Ray, thankfulness for letting me be this pop label legacy, so I can be a DJ premiere my commentary into infinity. I can sample, remix, redefine the sunshine of your love, so I can speak it rising up and lively up yourself. Because all the lines are a ring of fire, a top shelf in the red sunset, a way of fishbone roots to the skate elites. And I'm a Jedi Indiana Jones, slowly phoning home. Just call me IPC. It's like ET because we're all extraterrestrial, like vaudeville, Charlie Chan, free in the gust of Uncle Sam, and Betsy Ross. You remember she showed stars across this great divide. And that's where Robbie Robertson joys in Gulliver's Travel. We will never make it, so Bam Bam says to Krusty the Clown. Mickey Mouse says, Miss Piggy, let's get on down. It's an offer you can't refuse. So come on into my Godfather. I'm rattling the Snake Bottle Blues. It's where Willie Dixon plays bass with Eminem's candy-coated golden tickets, where I speak visual music like Michael Jordan singing in black, white, because the algorithm, you see, Joe Ray is the storyteller. I mix, edit, sample beyond Alexander Bell's lightning all along the Watchtower. That's where Tom Thumb and Red Fox, Beanstalks. I speak Dr. Seuss and Tarantino. I speak Lamb Cup and Big Bird. Palooza-rama, a playlist where I continue to play. I speak in alphabets, functions of junctions where my verbs have vowels. And that Fat Albert's gang and the Little Rascal Pals to the Peanuts and Purple Rain Starfish Jam to speak in the history of the future, promoting Let Love Be. Because it's all just funkified and free when IPC speaks of aura and vibrato, gets the funk unstuck in these concertos. I speak in metaverse. I speak in express. And I am popology. I'm the new science. I'm the new language. I have two tongues, bloody Vietnam red. I'll take you back to the river through Elmo's talking heads, where Major Tom to Jeremiah to the Bullfrog to the Jetsons speak idle, and fog hats howling like wolves, where everybody is waiting for weekends, period. So I pay attention. I'm the director of this universe. You see, it's a cityscope. So let's let the hip hop into the silver lining and bring it all together. Because Joe Ray, I see you. It's shining. I speak creativity. I speak light. I speak popology. I'm the 21st century holographic digital poetry. Ekphrasis on a work forgotten to speak all been globe-trotting across the horizon. I speak intelligence because the revolution will be televised on the internet. I speak in tinges of radio, internet, and old fuzz of television radio, from a Death Star to the hum of a lightsaber to a pandemonium of yokai so funkified outcast, funky puppets fresh and clean to the Skywalker sheen, the force of the Jackson 5 be with you. A Warhol soup can and a Robert Johnson Woody Guthrie blues. Yeah, I speak Backstreet Beastie Boys. I speak Toy Story and identify beautifully because I am popology. So let's go. Let's do the Matsu. Let's speak and roar for all of you because I see you. Do you see me? I'm a popologist, and I popology. I let freedom ring because this is a global inner peace expression. It's a movement. And I thank you, Joe Ray, for freely letting me express because I am popology.
IPC, you are more fluid than a druid. Your inner pop messiah is my desire. I want to chillax and just take snacks and listen to you for quite a while. That's dope. That was beautiful. I am so happy I recorded that. Bessie, where'd you find this guy?
Under a rock somewhere. We found him under a rock somewhere.
We've been through lifetimes together, all of us. Don't you know souls travel together? Cheryl's in the house.
What up, Cheryl?
She's in the house. IPC, that was beautiful.
That was really special. That was.
I clipped you 10 times and shared.
It's beautiful. Hey, you know what? Again, this is the exciting part because Popology will always be delivering fresh content because of who you all are. That's the infinite of this. We just have to coalesce and organize under something that isn't something under, that we're overstanding it. You know, we're on top of it, not beneath it. And that's it. It's like, that's why I say that popology is the metaverse. It's the formation of all of our, what they call it, the 12 monkey theory. We all think the same things. We all want the same things. Global inner peace is the common denominator. Let's raise that bar up, because it does exist in this room. Noala, you down with that? Hey, Kalichi.
I am. Joe, I was going to ask actually, I don't know if it's a suggestion or if I should ask. I feel like Popology should be on the blockchain.
It is on the blockchain.
Oh, it is on the blockchain?
Yeah, it is, and we're also building our own as a public trust ledger that we can legislate real laws when you know what the people really want and are.
Amazing. I love that, man.
Public trust.
Yes, and it's owned by the people, just like your Library of Congress in the U.S. of A.
And it won't anger the big corporations. Why? Because
this is the kookiest part. They want us to do this. This is why they're squeezing us. I don't want to call myself a fool, but it's about paying attention to the overing trends of developing. See, here's the real problem. We try specific tasks to save the bees and save the whales and save the oceans and save the sun. And all these individualized problems, we ain't getting nothing done. It's easier to fix them all than it is to fix one of them. And that's through the people organizing, and it's the way that we govern ourselves. We put so much trust into this system that it just... We can decrease it by our intelligence rising, and we don't have to worry about it. And believe me, they don't want to work anyhow. Let them have their money. We'll earn ours.
Are you an anarchist?
No, I'm not an anarchist. I'm a neutralist. I'm a neutralist. I'm an I-amist. All we have to do is be ourselves without a fight.
By the way, anarchist is not a bad thing. It's just, I just thought I said.
I mean, the idea is radical. I'm not going to, I'm not going to mince words here. It is exciting. The radicalism of actually standing up and being in joy, that's radical. You're right. And I'm not always that, so I'm not trying to be something else. But when I talk about global inner peace, my enzymes get like, I see it. When I first came up with that phrase, I was like, well, this doesn't exist. World peace, that word, what's that mean? So as a copywriter for advertising, I thought about world peace, and I'm like, well, global inner peace is really what we want. I looked it up. Nobody used it. Not even Deepak Chopra, not even the Dalai Lama, no modern spiritualists. And so then
because people don't think it's attainable.
No, it is here now. Wait a minute. How many people here were able to eat and laugh and dance while there's poverty in another part of the world? We do have global inner peace already, just the bar is low. We have to have some sense of inner peace, or we would scream out in the streets every minute. I did, but I had to learn another way. So the idea here is global inner peace is when it's tolerance is a big part of it. But
when you give more than you receive, it's when you give more than you expect to receive, is what it really is.
I wouldn't even say that for you if that's the way it is, Vessi. Global inner peace is, if you consider it's here already, it really is. Okay. Now, what's it look like when we raise the bar? The raise the bar of inner peace, global inner peace, would be everyone validated to me. Would be that everyone's voice is heard in a conscious and legitimate way, even if they're in a mental institute. That's a start. Poverty wiped out.
Are you sure that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think they're people. They have ideas, No,
I wasn't referring to just mental people. I mean, you said everybody's voice is heard. Are you sure that's a good thing?
I couldn't even consider the other conversation, because that means who decides who is shut up?
Why would that be a bad thing?
I didn't say it was a bad thing. Okay, but let me elaborate. Not everybody has good plans. Okay, think about Hitler, Stalin. Just throwing out a few names. Are you sure you want everybody to be heard, or is it just implementing what they do.
Yeah. If everyone's voices were heard, Hitler wouldn't even have been active. Okay? They muscled people's minds and people acquiesced to that premise. The voices weren't heard, as ours isn't being heard on the level it should be either. Goodness reigns brighter. There is more darkness, yes, but the loft of our spirit.
No, there's not more darkness. I disagree with you.
I say that we're half, the matter.
There is more darkness.
There's
more darkness
it's just not heard.
See, the flesh is dark.
No,
the flesh.
I don't think so, guys.
Vessi, could I bring it to you this way? And I don't mean this in a negative way, because I love black. I love dark. I'm in touch with my shadow. At the same time,
do you know, Joe Ray, that your shadow is your goodness that's wanting you so much to be seen, because we fall so far from where we were. I heard
that's
this the
correct.
other day, and it blew my mind. That the shadow is actually, it was in an anime. What was it in? Earthsea up on Netflix. Blew my mind. This shadow that visited this person was actually their goodness. That it kept growing. It was so sad because it wasn't being seen by the ego, the one that was consuming the one.
Yeah.
They were so sad, and they lost
you always believe everything you watch on Nickelodeon.
Sorry, Kalichi, say that again?
No, that was a joke. Don't worry.
He said you shouldn't watch everything on believe everything you see on Nickelodeon.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to dump some green slime on you now, Jacopo.
That's good. Slime them.
That's a good one.
Yes, that was a joke.
Ari, can I?
know, honey. It's okay.
So here's my perception.
Bessie,
if I
Yes, hi, Eric. Sorry, Joe.
Oh, hey, Aaron.
Bessie, I know that your instinct is to say that there's less darkness, but I just want to put it in a scientific point, and that was about a decade ago. Astrophysicists said that 96% of the known material of the universe was made up of dark matter, and that only 6% was actually made up of matter. I think it's even now more.
Yeah.
I think they found out it's more like 97%.
But
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yes, I thank you, Eric. What is dark matter?
Can I explain it? I know exactly. Here, Bessie.
Dark matter's the force. It's what holds everything.
Exactly.
It's what holds
Yeah.
all the matter together.
So just because it's called dark matter, what does that mean? I think conceptualizing.
That's my point.
Yes.
Can I
I'm
answer
with you.
this? Vessi, here's the real truth, and this is where pop comes in. Every millisecond of a fraction of a millisecond, the elements of the atoms pop into existence. It means that we are living in the excrement of the millisecond past. We're living in, when I say excrement, I mean like the leftover. When the atom pops, or when the element, the quark pops, it's called a quark. The quark pops from an essence of light. It frequencies itself into this existence, into this dimension. So when it pops into existence, it happened already. So the idea is we're constantly moving through what is considered matter. And matter is the flesh and everything around us that is actually considered dead energy in a sense. The spirit is alive. So the spirit is always in the future and the present, where the matter around us is always catching up by a millisecond to exist itself. Okay? So that's already dark. That's already dark matter. We're not taking this to a metaphysical conversation. We're taking this to the actual scientific premise of what is considered real compared to light and spirit. So spirit.
So Minority Report is real then. So we're living in a.
So there's a lot of Hollywood presents some really mind-scratching premises. But when we can lift our spirit, hear me out. When we can lift our spirit in a material way, we become more spirit than matter, and then direct the matter accordingly, because the spirit is what's charging ahead in the future, where the matter that's existing in our house or in our bodies or is playing catch up to be present. And the only time it catches up to be present and wins is when you're dead. That's it. The spirit is always in the future, or the present future, if you will. It is never in the past. But the spirit, the body, the matter, the wall, the
inner values, Joe Ray. Inner values.
Well, that's a psychological premise now. What does inner values mean? What do you mean?
Okay, so the reason I mention inner values, I'll tell you right now. So here I'm quoting, materialistic values cannot give us peace of mind. So we really need to focus on our inner values, our true humanity.
That's
Only
spirit.
this way can we have peace of mind and more peace in our world.
Yeah.
So the inner value is also changing the hearts of man, which is actually something St. Gideon, one of a producer I'm working with on the song Connection, he said, we talked about this at length, changing the hearts of men. So that's the biggest thing. If it's born within you, that your inner values are in congruence with the Most High and with the high vibration, then light and dark is just arbitrary, because there's only one. And if it's all of us, which it is, then collectively we vibrate and for global inner peace.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Cheryl, what is Cheryl's? Can I just hear from Cheryl real quick? I want to hear what she thinks about this. And Cliche, we'll get to you. I just want to hear Cheryl, what she thinks of this 8-dimension circus we're evolving. I say 8 because it's one for every letter of the word. Is Cheryl? Oh, there she is.
Hi there.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. I'm really listening to everybody's point of view, and just trying to process everything that I'm hearing and understand. But ultimately, I have kind of like, I know the answers to the stuff, it's real simple, but we make it complex. Right?
Yeah.
But it's everybody, it's like there's a truth. And so all the different religions and all the different philosophies that exist, it's almost like taking a pack of chicken. You give it to 5 different people. They're going to cook it different ways, but at the end, you're still going to have chicken. And if everyone realizes that, like we're all reaching for the same thing, we're just going about it in different ways. And those different ways, because of the egos and the I want to be heard, right? You end up with chaos and argument. But if everyone would just understand one thing and just listen, and we can get there. But you gotta let go of all the other stuff. But it's very possible. We have to realize it's possible.
Cheryl, what do you want? Can I ask what your goals of what does popular mean to you, and what do you want from this world?
Popular means absolutely nothing to me, but what I want from this world is I would want each and every individual to not hurt. I would want every individual to see their pain or their learned behaviors or their given reactions. We are trained to react to things. We are trained to perform, right? So if everyone could just go deep into themselves and become actual individuals, I would want that for everybody. So then they would know, there's no need for anything else, and it would just be organic at that point. How that could happen, I'm not sure yet, but I do believe it's possible.
Cheryl, I have your answer, because you made this so easy, and your statement was so beautiful. There's no way that's not popular to every heart in this room. Definitely to yourself. The singular premise of you're popular is stellar. Now, if I ask you this question, I really mean it with a sense of a positive begging. I know popular is not a fun word in some circles. Okay, I know it can be trivial and sound like the cutest quarterback or the cheesy cheerleaders or bubblegum. But for a minute, for this conversation and for all others related to popology, we're taking low-hanging fruit and turning it into gold. That if you can hear the complaint within the mind in the simple conversation where I say, what does popular mean to you and what do you want for the world? You have a contradiction for yourself. You've created an unacceptance of what popular is to you and the world. And that's the misgiving that we have impasse with the entire planet. Every human being feels the way you feel, even me. And I'm evolving a premise of popular. You know, I want to be popular. I want to be loved by the entire world, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So the idea of popular lends itself to self-absorption and trivial. Oh, they program that. Because it doesn't. It's a beautiful word that everyone on this planet has in their heart. And children, you ask children this question, and they don't have this baggage with it. And so I implore you, is the right word, to reconsider what popular means to you. And envelope it with the same statement that you just said that you want for the world and the people, and it will happen. You have my word on that. It's our word. I'm sorry. It just sounds good that way. You have our word on this.
Thank you. So I'll think about the way you put popular. I was thinking about it in just a trivial way. And like I said, I didn't hear everything, but I am trying to learn about this popology. So
you know it. You do it. The try part is what makes you happy. What are the joy points of your life that you really are working on and achieve? These are the things you wake up for. That's popular to you, even if no one knows it. I guarantee you many more people know it. The idea here is popular has been taken from us. Popular culture has been taken and stripped from us because we gave it away. Our parents gave it away. For a house and a picket fence and having children with a social security number. I'm not complaining. We have a word that can and a Bill of Rights that can open this wide open and never anyone fight. I say I know God. I don't believe in God. I know God. Who's going to debate with me on that? Who could?
Nobody.
Exactly. So the words we say become the prayers efficient enough to do it. That's it. Popology is a spell. POPOLOGY. It sounds like it should have been here a long time ago.
Are you basically saying in this sense of apology, you're saying it's nothing more than saying what you just said, and I guess you're right. With apology in this sense, you're saying you want everyone to love you, and then in that sense, you'll love everyone back, and we'll have the global love, right?
That's a great variant of the statement. Yes, that I do love everyone, actually. I really do, especially the people who shut me away and say they don't want to talk to me. I somehow give them more attention. Because I'm a validation junkie, and that's what God required for this project from me. And it's okay, because many of us are this way, you know. It's okay to be a psychosis, because I was programmed to be this. And so are you. So we take the responsibility and say, what is popular to me matters. So much so that when I post my spaghetti dinner on Facebook, they're tracking my data. They're listening to us now. That's how important we are. Wow, what a great time we're in.
What about those of us that don't really give a fuck about what people think about us?
They'll come around. We'll be making plenty of money.
I've never sought validation in my life. I really don't.
Well, because you look, you're tall, good looking, and dark.
I don't believe you. I think everybody wants validation.
Yep.
And anyone that says I don't give a fuck about what people think about me, they're lying to themselves.
I agree with you.
What about John Jett? I don't give a fuck about my reputation.
Yeah, because
this is the problem. This is the problem. You see, the world has them brainwashed you to think everybody's that way. I've never sought validation in my life. My statement since I was a kid is...
You are in this conversation, Kalichi.
Hold on. Let me finish. Here's my pop. What I like saying. What other people think of me is not my business. It's their business. I really don't give a shit what people think about me. The only people that I might care what they think about me. Not enough to do anything about it, but my family. And my family is... My family, I've got 6 sisters and 3 brothers, and 19 nieces and nephews. When I say my family, that's what I'm talking about. I've got lots of cousins and first cousins and all of that, but I focus on my relationship with my siblings and my parents. Any cousin that pursues a relationship with me, fine. I would have a relationship with them. But I don't go out of my way to build relationships with cousins. I've got a lot, I've got a Grammy Award winning cousin, Erica Badu's ex-boyfriend and main producer, Maduku Chinua. Do you know what my last name is? Okay, I took my last name off here. Chinua is my last name. Maduku, Erica ex-boyfriend and he produced our person. Badu is him. He's my cousin. His dad is my dad's younger brother. I don't chase a relationship with him. He can just literally blow my music career up with just giving one beat up. I don't chase shit like that. I do my own thing. That's how I live my life.
But Kalichi, it's true. I hear your constitution, and the only issue is that I already acknowledge you as an artist. I already acknowledge you as a well-spoken statesman. Now tell me you don't feel good right now.
I always feel good.
Thank you. The laugh told us everything.
I always feel good.
Well,
okay. As long as I'm in my company, I feel good. I've not found a way to not be in my company.
So validation is a very broad term, and it's very, for some, fragile, and for some, it's it's the weight of the pyramids. The real conversation is validation in an easy way is at an all-time low, and it's free. It's free. It only takes a little bit of your heart, and it actually reverberates back. So the people that say they don't, I'm not your exception here, Kalichi, because I know you care about us, so I appreciate that.
I care about everybody. I care about everybody. I just don't care what they think about me, in the sense that I have to worry about what this person thinks of me,
Okay, and that's a measure. That's for sure. That's for sure. So in the direction of validation, though, it's something important for us to give attention to those who really are hardened about the way people care or not care about them, and give them love. Give them an appreciation. Your face looks great, or your outfit looks cool, or these little things. I go out of my way when I'm at the grocery store trying to give people, when they eye contact me, I always try to come up with a one-liner of something cool about them, and it changes their day because I know it, because it changes mine. And that's a simple thing that I guess my mom trained me, or that's not even the point here. The idea here is that we all have this ability. We all have beauty in us. We all do, undeniably. Even if you're deformed in some, physical way that's not with the times. We all have a beauty. We all carry this. And I want to live in that world. And I'm going to have it. We're going to have it. We're going to make this happen.
People are mentally deformed. That's not with the times, and that's why things are the way they are, where the tides are one way and then you have this other part. The mental deformation and obstruction of the social constructs of what is okay and not okay, what is beautiful and not beautiful, all of that's a bunch of baloney. Yeah. I get what you're saying, Kalichi. You're you, and you're not changing for anybody. And I also get what you're saying, Joe Ray, about giving love makes one feel good, and to give and to share and to see somebody and acknowledge them. There's so much sadness in the world. There's so many lonely people, and they're not seen. Yep. And that is so sad. They don't have families. They don't have, nobody shows them love. They're judged on whatever someone's idea about what's beautiful. So what's popular is love. Love is popular, becoming, and it's really the only thing that's real. I think as soon as people, this is something my grandmother said. She said, Vessie, love is the only thing that's real and everything else is false. And she would anger my mother with that statement, because look at how horrible things are and can be. But the thing that I've been thinking for the past 20 years about her statement is that if love is the only thing that's real, how much currency do we pay into the bullshit that's not love? We'll put so much energy into that. Yeah. Why? Yeah. The love is the currency. Yeah. So you believe that. You put your currency and energy into that. And when you see it, immediately uproot it when it isn't love. And be honest if you haven't been the love. And bring the love. And flush that other stuff down and make it go away by transmuting it alchemically. It's like with the song.
I believe you, and I get you. But I don't believe anyone. I don't believe anyone that says I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah, there's
truth.
anyone.
Hey, I want to reset.
Okay, here's a statement that will help you.
Okay, so
sorry, just 2 seconds.
She's going to keep saying it, Kalichi, and she's proving the point by you having to prove it.
Let me just say this. Hang on, let me say this. You can keep believing what you believe, but okay. I don't care that you don't believe that. I don't care. So it's all good.
All right. So wait. So here's what I want. I want to hear. Okay, hold on. Quincy has a question. Go ahead, Quincy.
My question is, when are you gonna make Popology more mobile? Because, like, for me, I don't use my computer a lot, and I would like to post myself more mobilely than to post on the computer, because sometimes I don't have my laptop available to me at times, and I put it up, and I will want to know when you're gonna make a mobile version, at least mobilely, where if it's an app or at least on a website where I can post myself mobilely.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer. Good question, rather. This December, early January, we're meeting with Comcast. They'll be likely buying in for a very large, and for 25%, if all goes well. So the premise is we will scale the product, the beta, and build a mobile version that won't be as fired up as the web app. But I present it to you this way, is that, and I understand the conveniences you're speaking on, which is very valid. In this situation, I'm enlisting each of you as popologists. And, as long as you have your heart and your mind with you and you get this premise, Popology is with you all the time. I say record yourself as often as possible. And then you come back to the app and the platform, and, I'll help you merchandise it. And, we will as a team so that you get bank. Popology is available everywhere. And I don't want to limit this premise to just technology, because it's far bigger than that. This is why we've spoken about the efficiencies of what I put it to you this way. IPC's directive, can you hear me? IPC's directive on what Popology is for him and how he recited digital rights as fluidly as a phone book. Okay? And he was in the zone, which is likely he's in the zone often. This is his right, and he sounds like a billionaire.
IPC lives in the zone.
Well, so again, he's carrying the IM. So in the resetting the room, can we hear IPC do some flow for whatever?
Can I really quickly say one thing?
Yes.
Just quick, I pinned the Media Literacy Blockchain app, the link you sent me today for the Indiegogo.
Yes. Because
we need to raise $25K is the reality for the app.
Yeah, 10 is absolute minimum, and 25 is it is an expensive premise here, and it's beautifully designed. We're a nonprofit as well for the education arm, so that everyone's investment is also tax deductible. And also, I offer the blockchain coins so you can hold them, because when the $5 coins, when our platform deploys, those $5 coins are going to 2x to 10x, and they're $5 already. They're going to increase quickly because it's a utility coin for our blockchain. So if anyone's...
How much coins can one buy?
What do you mean? How? I don't know if you want to invest. I've sold 10,000 already, so $10,000.
So I can go and buy 20,000 if I want to.
Sure, you can. Yeah.
Okay, lovely job.
Whoa, bro, Kalichi, I care what you think then. Okay.
Where can I buy this from the website?
Okay, so what would work is our coin is on waves.exchange, and you would basically Venmo me, and then I send you your digital wallet. You send me your digital wallet, and then I load it up with coins, and that's it.
Right. Okay. I don't have Venmo, but I guess I can. Do you have PayPal or Cash App?
It's called an ICO. Yeah, wherever we have to. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I know, and I initial coin offering.
Yes.
So you're having an initial coin
We're only allowed to sell 350,000, and so I'm only going to sell 20,000 of them, because $25,000 rather, $350,000 were allowed to ICO. I didn't even touch it. I sold $12,000 worth That's it, just for small, because I have 2 investors already.
Why you not selling the full amount you can sell?
No, I could. No way, I could. If you want to help sell it and make some money, for sure you can. I just don't want to, I just don't have time to really push it that way. That's what I have this up. I'm offering perks so people can hold the coin. I want to say this.
If I sold it, then what profits am I making?
You're not going to make any profit until the app is out, and then the value of our.
Obviously, but what I'm saying, when the app is out, what are you offering? What are you offering?
I don't understand. We have a $5 ICO per coin. Right? So when the app is out, that $5 value, the trade velocity on that quite quickly, because we have an inter-app token called the POP token. That's the functioning app, and then you trade out.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
Great. Yeah, I get that. Here's what I'm asking. Okay, I'm asking. You said you've got a 350K limit maximum you can sell. But
because I live in the States.
Because you're too busy.
No, I didn't say that. I said because I live in the States, you're only allowed $350,000 ICO. I have 240.
You're not maxing it, basically. That's what I'm saying.
Kalichi, 1 second. Let him finish the thought, hun.
Okay, sorry, go on. Because I heard. Anyway, go on.
I have a $350,000 ICO. I've only sold 12,000 because I don't really have the time because of all the things I'm doing. It takes a lot to do private sales on this. I've sold 12,000. If I sell more than 350,000, the United States government requires a $1 million bond for the FCC or FDC or SEC. So I'm avoiding that. I just need to sell. I already have 2 investors substantially investing now. So if I had some gravy money, which is adding a couple developers, we're golden. It's already happening. Now I want to say this. There are a lot of crypto scams out there, like Squid Coin and all these crazy coins, raised $3 million in 3 months and ricked everybody. We've been around. I want to say this. Vessi knows, Bernie knows. We've been around for 11 years as a company, and we're building a platform whether we sell coin or not. So we're a guaranteed bet to win. A crypto Dogecoin and whatever these other tokens are, they're the shades of stripes and circles. There's no utility to them unless they have an app attached, and some NFTs platforms are cool that way. So what I'm really trying to say is that we're creating a network that attaches cryptocurrency as opposed to the point being cryptocurrency. We're tracking digital rights for the users and the libraries. So with that said, it's a safe investment, and we're a nonprofit. You don't become a nonprofit billable unless you're official. So there you go.
Yeah, okay, here's what I was asking. You say, you say you don't have the time to do the sales, but you're allowed to sell up to 350K coins max, or else the US government would bid you a fine of $1 million if you go over that, and you're trying to avoid that. But you could go up to 350K without breaching any laws, but you don't have time to do the first no sales. What I'm saying, if I put in my time and make these sales for you, what's in it for me?
I would give you a percentage for sure. If you sold 100,000, I would give you 8% on that. That's pretty healthy.
10%. Make it round. Let's make it 10%.
He wants 10, Joe Ray.
If you do it, I got you covered.
Hold
sure.
on, Bernie.
All right, cool.
Bernie, do you approve that? Bernie
needs to be asked about
That's a good point.
Bernie approves. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Bernie, we can telepathically already. He approves. Don't worry. He doesn't approve anything.
Yeah, you got to go to Bernie. Bernie's the he put me in this crypto space, but he drugged my ear and said you better do this. So, what do you think, Bernie? What a percentage?
That's something you and Dan will have to sit down and hash out as far as that is concerned. I'm not going to make a call on that.
Who's Dan?
Dan's my business partner who owns Pay-Per-View Live, and he's the technology curator. He buys technologies for Comcast. So we are a shoo-in, my friend. So the base conversation is when it comes to the crypto, if you have real sales, I'll offer you 10%.
Right.
But
okay.
better sizable investment would be better. So.
No worries. Yeah. Well, I know the figures now. You said 350 is your max. I'm gonna reach out to some people.
All right.
It sounds like
cool.
I'll reach out and I'll but I'm gonna buy some for myself as well. So,
sweet. Well, it's good. It's definitely a good holding. It's Vessie's done.
Yeah, it sounds like a good holding. Yeah, definitely hold it for a while. I'm gonna buy some. And I know a few investors that. I mean, I've not. I used to invest in crypto for people. Yeah, so I used to invest. I had just for a private. I was really into crypto actually from 2017 to about 2019. Then I kind of pushed it aside to focus on music. Yeah, but I still have contacts that I could just ring up. Because I mean, I used to, and I didn't lose any money. I made people a lot of money. So if I ring them up, they're definitely gonna. I mean, they've been trying to get me back into the investing, but I'm not really on that at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna reach out to a few people and see what's up.
Thank you, brother. That's cool. Very cool. Does anybody else want to speak? Like Aloha or Yo, Cheryl?
Hey, Joe. I wanted to say it was great to speak with you again. I'm going to take off for now, but I'm
got
it. Do a little deep dive here, and thanks for the back channel messaging and everything.
You got it.
Yeah.
Eric, it was great to have you on.
Yes.
Thanks, Bessie. It's nice to meet you guys. I gave you a follow for sure.
All right, take care, Eric.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh yeah, guys, it's like 7:39, so I got a lovely wife I have to attend to. And I'm really excited about everyone here. This is a real movement. That's the point here. It's a science term we get to make up. We've got the legitimate blockchain and application being built by a legitimate technologist and myself. And likely going to have Comcast NBC as our partner. So, what's up? Is that you, Vessie?
Who doesn't love Popology? Who doesn't love Popology? Not me. All right.
Best in the house.
Caliche.
Here we go.
Go ahead, Jory.
All right, here we go. So I want to thank everyone for being here and closing out. Here's our goddess of pop,